Hey guys, before this episode of the Keep Exploring podcast begins, I want to answer the question that I know a lot of you guys are going to be asking down in the comment section right away. Why is it only audio this time? Well, I just had yet another root canal done, so my face is extremely swollen, so I prefer not to show my face on the screen. Sorry about that, guys. All of our other podcasts have our faces on the screen, but this one won't. This one will just be audio. However, I'm going to try to throw as many pictures as possible onto the screen for you guys to still be slightly entertained. Sorry about that, everybody, but enjoy the podcast. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to SoCal Exploring, your stop for all things theme park and attraction related, and welcome back to the Keep Exploring podcast. We don't do these as frequently as we do Horror Nights Unscripted, but when we do, it's usually because it's a very big topic. And of course, today I have joining me my better half, Adrian, which is my Orlando representative. You guys know him from LoshTV.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
And you already know you can find all of his socials and stuff down below in the description. Subscribe to Adrian's channel because he's close to 1K. How close are you?
I'm about 160 subs away.
So we can get that right. We can get that before haunt season, if not earlier. Quick PSA before we get into our topic today: wear your fucking mask. And that's excuse my language. I know YouTube will demonetize me, but on the podcast we use some strong language and strong opinions. So sorry if you guys don't like that, but you guys need to wear your mask because not only one are you giving COVID to more people and risking people's life, but two, you're also showing the government that we can't have theme parks open and the theme parks are going to close back down. Which means, what does that mean for haunt season, Losh?
Could be canceled.
Exactly, if you guys don't get your shit together. So make sure you're wearing your mask. I don't care what political view you have. I hate wearing a mask. I absolutely hate wearing it. But I still wear it every time I need to. So just wear it. Make the sacrifice. You're saving
Wear the mask, you guys. Come on.
thousands of lives by putting on that piece of fabric. You know? Like, you're basically a doctor. Think of yourself as that. Think of yourself as a lifesaver. But enough of that. There will be plenty of PSAs to come in all my, future videos and stuff because I see more and more people not doing it. But today we're talking about recent news that the Princess and the Frog is taking over Splash Mountain at both Walt Disney World and Disneyland. So the reason I have Losh on today is one, because I don't do good with solo podcasts, and two, is because since Losh is in Orlando, I'm more familiar with Walt Disney World. He can touch up on, it being a New Orleans themed attraction in the Frontierland area, and I can touch up on it being in the Critter Country area, which I touched up a little bit on our announcement video. But this one we're going to be talking about the different scenes that we could see, the ride layout. Obviously the ride layout will be the same, but how the ride will be laid out as far as scenes goes. Just all things about the Princess and the Frog. Do you remember what the name is that they gave it right now? They gave it a project name, I think. It's something about Tiana's New Adventure, I think.
Is it New Adventures with Princess Tiana?
There you go. I think it's exactly that. That is just the project name right now. So Disney said that they're going to give it an actual name, but that's a pretty dumb name for if that were the actual name, that'd be a pretty dumb name. I'm sorry. Yeah. So yes, Splash Mountain is getting changed, and real quickly, you guys need to stop commenting negative stuff in the comment section of both our videos and other creators' videos, because this ride, what it was based off of, had a very racist past, and it's not a good representation, especially nowadays, and especially with what's going on, to still have that lingering around. I get it, guys. Me and Losh both get it. The ride didn't show any depictions of racism at all. They didn't do that. They just based it off the racist movie, but it still ties in to that said racist movie.
Yeah.
And I think that the Princess and the Frog will be a good overlay for it. Honestly, I'm happy with it. Don't really think, if they did a Moana attraction, I don't think that'd work.
No.
Or what are some other ideas they could do?
Maybe Tangled.
Tangled would work in a way, yeah. Nemo, but like, there's no way they'd put freaking Nemo there. They're just, or they could do something, a different theme, like kind of a Western theme, just
Yeah.
obviously not based off Song of the South, but it wouldn't be Disney like. Disney has to throw IPs on it, and kudos to all the people who raised their voice and raised awareness for getting Splash Mountain changed, because yeah, you guys did make a change, and Disney has had this plan. I just want to give my stance on this. Disney has had this plan probably since last year, and they probably have been thinking about it, but the awareness that has been raised is to cause Disney to actually pull the trigger on announcing it and go like 100% with it,
Yeah.
because I don't think that, like, what do you think? Do you think that Disney could have pulled off getting it approved and like doing all the concept art over a 1 month span?
No, not at all. This had to have gone through multiple trial and error because there's no way they were going to just do it right off the bat, regardless of what's going on in the world or what's happened.
Exactly. So, I mean, look at it from both sides, like one side, yes, you guys have raised tons of awareness and you got them to pull the trigger. So, like, kudos to you guys. It just shows how powerful some people's voices are, and rightfully so. But on the other hand, I don't want to see arguments about, like, oh, this is all part of Disney trying to look good because Disney just has to be cookie cutter clean. Like, no, like they couldn't have been getting all the approvals and doing all this concept art within a 1 month span. They couldn't have. It's just not very Disney like, But let's start off with the queue line. Do you have any ideas if they're gonna do anything in the queue line, Losh?
The only thing I can really think of is, doesn't Tiana have her shop that she works at?
So she started off with she started off like working like multiple jobs, and like the whole goal of the movie is for her to get her restaurant, which is Tiana's Place. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what she ends up with at the end.
Because if I'm not mistaken, the story for the attraction is supposed to take place after the final kiss.
Correct.
So why don't we walk into Tiana's place?
That
And
would
that's
work.
the queue.
That'll work. Or like, yeah, because I wonder what the loading. This is just us shooting off random ideas because they could have a themed queue, which would be nice, or they could also just leave it how it is and just put like Princess and the Frog Remnants there. But I think it'd be cool. Oh no, because they'd have to change the facade of the ride.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be Tiana's Place. If they
Yeah.
put that and like they kind of have like a themed queue, that'd be really neat. I think that could work out. And we'll talk about it later about the potential of Tiana's Place coming as a restaurant, because that's a big topic I want to get into. But I can see that happening. I just wish, I hope that they do some kind of cool looking queue, because Splash Mountain queue, at least in Disneyland, is really, really boring. I don't know how it is in Disney World.
Pretty much the same. It's boring, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, and like people are waiting in the summertime so long for that damn
I
ride.
can see them having an interactive queue as well, kind of like Seven Dwarfs.
Oh, with Magic Kingdom for sure. Disneyland, no. We don't get interactive queues. You guys literally have so many interactive queues.
Yeah.
Isn't there one in Peter Pan?
There's one in Peter Pan. There's one on Space Mountain.
Jeez, dude.
There's one in Winnie the Pooh.
We could have an interactive queue somewhere. I mean, I guess, like, actually, yeah, not really. We can't really do it at all. Yeah, we can't. We have no room, really. Other than, like, Small World, but then they had to build, like, a bunch of new crap, and I don't think Disneyland's wanting to do that off of a couple little interactive stuff. So speaking of the loading station, we load into the logs. Do you think that Disneyland will get the 2-person logs?
I don't think they're gonna change the logs though, because wouldn't they have to change the dimensions of the drop and everything as well?
What, they'd have to retrack the whole entire ride, which I wouldn't see, because that was one of the topics I saw people talk about. Is like, what if Disney gets the 2-seater logs? And I'm like, well, you realize that they'd have to change the whole track layout, right?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't do that.
But what about the design of the logs?
The logs, I feel like instead of having that little rabbit on the front, they're just gonna add the frog.
That, or there's this little bug named Ray. He's a firefly.
Oh yeah.
I feel like that'd be perfect. And then like oh my god, the safety video is gonna be Ray talking. Like even though he's dead. And that's one of the other things that I saw people comment was like Dr. Facilier is dead, so how it'd be incorporated into the ride. It's Disney.
He can bring his demons into it.
It's Disney. But that would be cool if like Ray's telling us like
The story. Well,
telling
not the
us the
story. The
story and
safety speaker.
the safeties and regulations and crap like that.
Hmm.
But and then we believe because the track layout I believe is relatively the same for both parks, right?
More or less, I believe so.
There's like a couple of different turns here and there, but
Yeah. I think
um,
it's pretty much the same thing though.
hmm so we honestly the first like lift hill, I don't see anything being changed. I don't see anything in that first little turn. I don't see anything being changed other than just some paint and stuff like that. But once we get up to where we kind of go around the drop, where you can see like down below and you can see the drop happening right in front of your face, from the concept art, you see Princess Tiana and the Louis the alligator sitting there.
Yeah.
Animatronics or no?
I want to say yes because why wouldn't they put an animatronic in there when Disney's basically like making phenomenal animatronics back and forth? They put an animatronic at the end of Slinky Dog for crying out loud.
Oh my God, yeah.
That didn't need to be there, so I see them putting that in there.
Here's the thing, right? Is like, where would they build it though? Because at least for Disneyland, they'd have to build a completely new platform for
Yeah,
them. So,
at least here as well too.
like,
Well, if they get rid of the, isn't it like the not what's it called? The patch that you end up dropping into
oh yeah,
with
yeah,
all the thorns, they could get rid of all that and then just put them on a platform out there.
they could. Um, I am confused because they'd have to build some platform there if the concept art is right, or either that or they use screens and projection. But even then, how would projection work out in the broad
Yeah, that'll be
daylight like that?
outside. I see them. I can see them using projections inside.
Mm-hmm.
Because if, for example, another ride that was changed from the original attraction to a new attraction was Frozen Ever After,
Yes.
and they just used the screen projected they had animatronics, but the face was screened on.
Yeah, it was just an animatronic, but with and it's funny when the faces turn off.
Yeah, it's weird. It's the weirdest thing ever.
But if and then we see if we look to our right side, we see the beautiful new drop, and I honestly really do think this looks absolutely beautiful with Mama Odie's house at the top, the boat at the very top. I think that's gonna look phenomenal, and I'm really hoping that they make the tree big and not miniature, because if they make the tree small, then it's just gonna look dumb and
They want to
tacky.
make it stand out.
Exactly. This reminds me a lot of the Tree of Life.
Yeah, because the tree's already there for Splash Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
All they have to do is build on top of it.
Oh yeah, the broken tree.
Yeah, they can literally. I have a side by side here. They can literally build off to the right, like off to the top.
You know what? Also, thing I noticed about that concept art is the fact that there's tons of trees surrounding it and tons of like lights. Now, with some concept art, Disney doesn't really include this kind of stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that we could see a way more what's the word I'm looking for?
Aesthetic.
Well, aesthetic, yes, and isolated, like kind of first show scene right there with like trees built around.
Oh yeah.
Because right now it's kind of just like you can see everything in Magic Kingdom and you can see everything in Disneyland.
Yeah.
Uh, so I feel like they're gonna try to make it a little more isolated, not too heavy, but I think it'd be really cool if they do some like lighting effects in there, especially
Mm-hmm.
at night, dude. People
Yeah.
are
Oh.
actually gonna want to ride this ride at night because it's gonna be so pretty.
That's true.
But then we go up the other lift hill, and I don't see there being anything. There could be stuff in the lift hills. There's that owl in the lift hill, so I guess we could see maybe the frog. But I don't. This storyline's really confusing because it does take place after the movie. So
We could be seeing a completely new story, but just like if I want to go back to comparing it to Frozen Ever After in a way, they still touched on songs from the original movie.
that's true.
So maybe they'll relive the movie basically through memories.
No, yeah, you got a fair point there. And like I said, it is Disney. They can really do whatever they want with their
Yeah,
story.
exactly. It's Disney.
We get into the last couple outdoor scenes where you're kind of just floating along what do you expect to see here? Because as we know, it's a very open. Do you think they'll close it up?
Maybe they'll close it up, add some show scenes, give you some nice lighting effects, make you feel like you're in New Orleans, blast in that music.
Oh yeah, we're gonna hear tons of music from the film, which
Ton
I
of
like,
oh god. Yeah.
and I'm very excited for that. I like the music from the film. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
fun, and smooth jazz is nice too.
Yeah.
Gives us that New Orleans feel. And I think that with the outside area, since Disney is kind of just doing a quote unquote reimagination, I don't think that they're gonna do a lot with it, unfortunately. I don't really see it, and I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but I don't see them doing a lot. And like I said, you can't really do a lot with that outdoor scene. But that brings us to our like little, what is it, the bear like in his house right there right before the first drop of the ride.
Is it Bear Bear
I
before the
think
first drop?
I think it may be, or it may be Brer Rabbit's house.
I think it is. I think it's Bear Rabbit.
Okay, I thought it was Bear for whatever
I know it's
reason.
one of their houses.
Yeah. So right there we could see an animatronic, or we could see like probably another Louis animatronic there.
Yeah.
We could see some kind of special effects with screens there. We could see the frog. We can see different animals there. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. It's just gonna be random. And then you go down the first drop, and obviously you go blasting into the music of the princess and of the frog. Now I'm curious because Splash Mountain obviously has tons and tons of animatronics.
That's
So
true.
will that be the same for Princess and the Frog? Do you think they have enough characters?
I feel like maybe towards the end in the Zippity, like not well, the characters that were in the Zippity Doodah scene towards the end might end up staying there to add as background characters.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see them using all these animatronics because they have enough characters in the Princess and the Frog to build the story off of.
I don't see the chicken slash ducks staying there because that just doesn't make sense in the movie. But I
Yeah.
do see some of those animals staying and being repurposed and just retouched up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It makes sense, and it's also another cheap thing for Disney to do.
Yeah.
But it is interesting to wonder what kind of animatronics we're going to see and how many we're actually going to see. Now, a lot of people are saying that this is probably going to be based heavily on screens or screens and stuff like that.
I hope
And
not.
I hope not too. To be fair, it may, but Disney, I know me and Losh are also big Universal lovers.
Mm.
Probably our favorite parks, but Disney isn't Universal. They don't use a lot of screens.
Not a
So
screen-based park.
yeah, they really are. And you guys can argue saying like, well, they use screens here. Like, yeah, but Universal uses screens 10 times more. So I don't think that there's going to be a heavy use of screens in this ride. It's a water ride at the Rilling Water Log Flume. In other water rides like boat rides, they can use screens, but in a log flume, there'd be no reason really to
No reason
do
to
it.
use it. Yeah, no.
What I'm really actually excited about is the fact that I know you're going to be like traveling through the bayou once you get into that first indoor scene,
Yeah.
and there with the lighting and the backgrounds of like the actual bayou and the swampy feel, it's gonna feel so cool.
It's gonna pop out. The colors are gonna be so vibrant.
You're gonna feel like you're in the movie.
Yeah, exactly. It's
And
gonna be
honestly, like I can picture it right now, just like Princess Tiana animatronic, like right, like doing a quick show scene, the Louis animatronic, and then a Prince Naveen animatronic, and
mm-hmm.
they blended perfectly because that looks like you're in the movie. So I think I'm extremely excited about that.
You do.
And if it gives us the feel like we're in New Orleans, and so be it. So we'll flash forward a little bit to the second drop, which is the indoor drop, which is where I think that we're going to be introduced to the Dr. Facilier scene.
Oh,
Um, here's what
already.
here's what I think. Hear me out, okay? I've been thinking about this because I've been thinking about this a lot more than the actual ride because I'm hoping that it comes true.
Yeah.
I do want to say, yes, Dr. Facilier technically died in the movie, but he also didn't. He just kind of got eaten by his friends from the other side. So we could see him as a ghost, as Disney would easily say, oh, Dr. Facilier has come back as a ghost
Yeah.
because he's into that voodoo shit.
Mm-hmm. If he's a voodoo priest, I can see him doing that. I can see him coming back.
Exactly. So here's what I propose. You know how we see the Brer Bear's ass like right before we go down that drop?
Yeah.
Yeah, so instead we see a projection effect of um of Dr. Facilier's face, and then it switches to that skull face. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yes.
Right? So it's like super, super nice, right? And then you drop down and you hear like the echoes of I got friends on the other side or are you ready? Like you just hear echoes of it as you're going down.
Oh man.
Very good audio mixing. And then obviously you go into this brightly colored, like you see the friends from the other side, you see the demons and the voodoo tables and the voodoo cars and all this different stuff and all the music playing, and we see a Facilier animatronic, but not an actual like live looking Facilier. We see him like kind of demented with kind of green eyes, hinting that like he's a ghost now.
Yeah. Ooh,
And I know that's asking too much from Disney because
that
after
sounds
all they,
amazing though. Jesus.
yeah, I mean, but like it's like, can Disney do it? Do you think so?
Yeah, Disney has the Imagineering power to do that. I believe so.
Let me ask you this: do you think Disney will do it?
Do I think they will do it? No, but I think they could do it.
They definitely can. I mean, we've seen them
Yeah,
pull off multiple different things, um, and it'd be really sad if they don't incorporate something like this because this
exactly.
is a perfect opportunity for them to put Facilier in there. Just imagine if I want you guys all after listening to this podcast to go over and listen or watch. I mean, watch the Dr. Facilier scene on YouTube, and it's just so many vibrant lights, so many vibrant colors, so many just everything. Imagine that being brought to life in this attraction. Now, like I said, we go back to the fact that Disneyland's very cookie cutter and they're family friendly. So is this too scary? No. My personal opinion, no. What about yours?
I don't think so either, because I feel like there's a way that you can make the kids. It's like the Haunted Mansion in a way,
Oh
essentially.
yeah,
Because if you keep the joyous music playing, not joyous music, but like that upbeat music, the kids are
happy.
gonna.
Yeah.
So it's like they're gonna enjoy this regardless. I don't really see them not incorporating something like this to this attraction.
Exactly, and it's dark. Well, even Splash Mountain, it's kind of scary too for
Exactly. Yeah.
kids.
There's times I go through that ride and I'm like, I don't want to do this again. I'm terrified. That's me as an adult.
But yeah, like I can see it because Haunted Mansion is a prime example, right? Haunted Mansion, the freaking poo dark scene, that's
Oh
a
my
prime
god. Oh,
example. That used to freak me out as a kid, but I was fine after we got out of it.
Mr.
So,
Toads.
oh, Mr. You go to freaking hell. Pinocchio, you haven't ridden Pinocchio, but
I haven't
uh,
been on Pinocchio.
have you seen a POV of Pinocchio?
Yes.
It is freaking terrifying.
Yeah, no.
So yeah, I mean, it could happen, and you could make the argument that like those are all classic Disney attractions, but it could happen. I'm
They
just
can
saying
make
that.
this an instant classic.
Look at Matterhorn,
Yeah.
or Expedition Everest,
Mm-hmm.
Disco Yeti.
We love that guy.
Yeah, we do. I will be so bummed if we don't see a Facilier scene. I will be so bummed.
Me too. I feel like a lot of fans would be as well.
Yeah, well, especially fans will be pissed because they'd be like, "Oh, well, you took away Splash Mountain, and you're gonna give us this crappy ride."
Exactly. You can't
Right.
have a good attraction without a full story. And I
Yes,
feel like Facilier needs to be there to tell the entire story.
you need a part where something goes wrong,
Exactly.
especially with this ride. You just need a part where something goes wrong, and this is the perfect opportunity. Now,
Mm-hmm.
the press release was very, very vague. They didn't give us much, and I'm sure we'll get more stuff as it gets closer to their construction progress, which we don't know when it is. But it's concerning to me that they didn't mention a lot of the characters that we'd see. They just mentioned Louis and Princess Tiana.
Yeah.
That
That's
is
all it says.
that's concerning because that means that even leave out Prince Naveen.
Oh man.
So
Didn't even mention it.
it's a little bit concerning. I hope we get like a Mama Odie animatronic somewhere,
Yeah.
and we just see all the animals and stuff like that. Speaking of that, we'll take a quick break from the detail. When do you think this construction starts, and when do you think it opens?
Well, I mean, they said on the press release, if I'm not well, not on the press release, it was a tweet that you showed me that the park was gonna open with the regular attraction.
Yeah.
So that's July 11th. I feel like they're gonna give fans about a month to 2 months as an opportunity to ride this attraction before they close it. So sometime in like maybe August or September, it might close down for construction.
I want to say early September because
Yeah,
it'd be really messed up for Disneyland at least to close it down in mid-August when deluxe pass holders and below are all blocked out from Disneyland. So
true.
that means we never get to ride it again. That would be really messed up. And if
Yeah.
that does happen, then I'm going to buy a general admission ticket to go ride it one more time. So, and Disneyland won't open before August if you guys don't freaking wear your mask. So,
They delayed it over there, correct?
yeah, they delayed it. I mean, one of the big things is that it's not delayed because necessarily of COVID. It's because our governor said we can't send in guidelines or get any approval until after July 4th. So
Yeah.
if Disney were to send in guidelines, say on 4th of July, and they get the approval on July 6th, well, that gives them roughly 10 days to get all the cast members back.
Okay. Yeah, that should work out.
Yeah, yeah, it makes sense for them to delay it, but people are afraid that it's because COVID's spiking, which it is, but that's not the main reason why. The theme parks are doing a good job at staying safe right now.
Definitely.
Um, so back to the ride, we go through the Dr. Facilier scene, and then what do you think the ending scene is when you're going up that lift hill? What do you think that we see?
I call me a little crazy, right? But right before you drop, it's gonna be a retelling of what happened to Facilier. That or the last kiss.
That'd be funny if it's a retelling.
I mean, basically seeing him getting eaten by his demons again, and then you drop.
Oh my God, if we see the shadow of the quote unquote shadow man, they call him, like,
Yeah.
because we see the shadow of Brer Fox like laughing, and we don't actually see him in that scene. But if we can see the shadow of the quote unquote shadow man, then I think that'd be really dope.
Yeah, it's true.
Because he can be like he looks maniacal, or the shadow of Facilier looks
We can have the
great.
Shadow Man throughout the entire attraction.
Oh yeah, let's just do a whole complete Dr. Facilier ride.
No, I'm just saying he can be like in the background making things.
Oh, you're saying like his shadow like just throughout the ride?
Exactly.
That could be like a screen-based thing.
And then you can see him throughout the entire attraction doing something that leads to the next thing.
No, that's a good idea. That's a really good idea because that set up the storyline perfectly.
Exactly.
Man, sign us up for Imagineers.
Disney, you
we
know where to find us. That's all I have to say. You need two Imagineers are right
exactly
here.
exactly, and everybody wants to be an Imagineer, but that's a good idea, Losh. So credit to Adrian for that. Then we go down the drop, and then we go into it's a big splash, and we turn around, and I don't think anything will change around here. But once we get into the last show scene, here's exactly what I think is going to happen. They're going to use the boat from the movie, and obviously the boat in the ride right now will probably be repurposed. I think Disney World's will get a little bit bigger because ours is a little bit bigger, if I'm not mistaken, and it just work a little bit better to retheme ours instead of building a complete new one. But your guys is a little bit smaller, so I
Mm-hmm.
think that you guys would have to build a new boat.
Yeah,
But
most definitely.
and like we'd see all the different actors on the boat, and we'd see Louis and Princess Tiana doing their Mardi Gras performance, which is the whole goal of this movie. And just songs and stuff playing, a very basic generic ending, but definitely expect to see something related to the Mardi Gras scenes from Princess and the Frog. They say they're gonna do it after the movie ends, but I think that this is gonna have a lot of the same traits that we see in the movie.
I wouldn't doubt it, honestly.
It'd be easy.
Yeah. I could see Disney taking the cheap but smart route with it.
Yeah, I mean, because if it works, it works.
Yeah.
So that wraps it up for the ride. Now I want to talk about our thoughts on Frontierland and Critter Country. before that, make sure to leave your comments down below on some of your ideas for show scenes for the new Princess Tiana's New Adventures, whatever it's called right now, the unnamed project right now. Let us know in the comment section. Like I said, we're not Imagineers. We just tried our best to come up with some ideas. But Losh, it's a little bit more tricky over there with Magic Kingdom being placed in the middle of Frontierland. So I want to hear your full thoughts, just nonstop. Go at it.
Okay, I feel like nothing is safe in this area after this happens.
Yes.
I feel like we might be seeing a lot of things changing in the next 5 to 10 years.
Oh my God, yeah, for sure.
Maybe this is just the first step in making this change, as in it starts with Splash Mountain, and then it goes to Big Thunder, giving Big Thunder either an IP-based thing, which I know people are going to uproar about this, but it's potentially going to happen. None of the attractions that you love that are there are safe.
That's true.
If Disney has an IP they can tie into it, they're going to do it. That goes for any theme park. And they can do that. They can switch out the Country Bear Jamboree, put in a show there that's based on something else. This whole area is not safe, basically.
The big topic is Pecos Bills being Tiana's place.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And I honestly, like, from what I've seen of Pecos Bills, I think I'd take that.
Yeah. No, same.
But Country Bear Jamboree, that's close to Splash Mountain, right?
Yeah, it's literally right there, right next to it.
Yeah, they're going to have to get rid of it. Sorry, Disney World fans, but we had to experience it, so you guys have to experience it. Granted, I didn't get to watch Country Bear Jamboree because I was too young, but all of the diehard Disney fans felt that pain of them taking it away.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think what you have to say is safe. It's nothing is safe in that area. I think this is the beginning of a bigger project for Magic Kingdom, and it's a bigger project for Disneyland too, but way bigger of a project for Magic Kingdom. I think that you guys turn the whole Frontierland into New Orleans Square.
Oh.
I think it's a big plan, because think of it, right? What's kind of New Orleans themed that you have in the corner of Frontierland? Haunted Mansion.
But that's more in Liberty Square.
Yeah, and I know some people are saying that.
Unless you want to count that entire like Tom Sawyer Island and all that stuff in that one little loop.
See, that's where it gets tricky, right? That's where it gets really tricky.
That's so confusing.
I just don't think that Frontierland's safe. At least that little area, I don't think it's safe. You can't put a New Orleans themed ride in the middle of a Wild Western land. It just doesn't work.
Mm-mm. I see. Yeah, I completely see Frontierland getting completely rehauled.
And it'd be dumb if they just leave it like that.
Yeah.
You know, I don't be surprised if Disney does it, though.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because that's a tricky one. Do they even have the money to do something like that? Well, they do.
They do. I mean,
the Frontierland one's a tricky one. We'll just have to wait and see on that. It's just a really tricky because
here's the real question, right? You know how we were talking about when we think the construction is going to start?
Yep.
Next year's the anniversary of Walt Disney World.
Okay.
Are they going to have Splash Mountain closed for that anniversary? Or are they going to open that new attraction for it?
That'd be so upsetting if they closed it to all Disney fans. Well, some Disney fans.
Something that was beloved by Disney fans.
I feel you. They could push it back wait until the anniversary. Lots of people are saying 2022, which I doubt. See, here's my personal thing. I think that Disneyland opens it first. And the reason being for that is because if we were to wait until 2022, then I'm all for 2 major attractions opening in 1 year. But we have the opening of Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway in 2022. Why would they?
Yeah, why would they do that?
Yeah, that means that they'd have nothing, at least nothing. Oh no, I guess they'd have Avengers Campus for 2021. Huh.
forgot all about Avengers Campus. Oh my gosh.
Forgot about it too. And that'd be phase two. That'd be phase two of Avengers Campus opening, which would bring in the e-ticket attraction.
Yes, true.
I think it's still going to be 2021 for Disneyland, mid-summer 2021 for Disneyland, October/November for Florida because you guys are hot no matter what. So it doesn't really matter when they open it over there, whereas in December, it actually does get kind of chilly for us.
Yeah.
But
or they could just plan to open both of them around the same time frame.
That'd be smart too. That'd be really smart. They open them at the same time.
Yeah.
And if Disney World opens it first, then you bet my ass I'm going over there on opening day. So
we're riding together.
Exactly. Two-person lock. But speaking of lands, we have Critter Country that we need to talk about because Disneyland actually has a New Orleans-themed area already, which is New Orleans Square. Now, Critter Country does not work with the theme of New Orleans, but here's the thing. The one thing that I've been thinking about a little bit more is the fact that if you just say Splash or not, Tiana's Adventure is now part of the New Orleans area, and if you move the entrance to closer to the New Orleans Square area, then you can easily get away with not getting rid of Critter Country. That'd be the cheap thing for Disney.
Yeah.
But that'd be a lot of work. What would also be a lot of work is turning Hungry Bear Restaurant into Tiana's Place. Hungry Bear Restaurant is meant to fit the theme of the Critter Country area, and there'd be no sense for a Hungry Bear Restaurant to be directly across the way from Princess and the Frog's New Adventure. It just wouldn't work. So Disney, just make a big themed restaurant. Do it. Do it. Make it Tiana's Place. Make it a small little land. Pooh is not safe. Winnie the Pooh is not safe. Yeah, Winnie the Pooh is going to go to Pooh Heaven and eat all the honey he wants. All right? Just accept it. Remember,
nothing's safe.
Yes, nothing's... Even IP-based rides are not safe.
Exactly.
Oh my God. Oh, so I just got a text that we are going back into a state of emergency for California. Great.
Nice.
Wear your mask.
Wear your mask. Yep, there it is.
That's all I'm going to say about our land is they just need to put Tiana's Place there. That's all they need to do. It'll work perfectly. That's all they need to do. And that wraps it up.
If it's in there.
Yeah, if it would. They just need to do it.
Yeah.
The transition between Galaxy's Edge and that would be weird, but it'd be really odd.
Oh, man.
Especially if they built it tall to where you can see it from Galaxy's Edge. That'd be so funny.
Is your Galaxy's Edge, how's it built? Is it lower or is it level?
It is more leveled.
Level? Well, yeah.
So there's the stairs, obviously, but it's more on the level side.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Those are just our thoughts. Those are our predictions for the ride scenes and such. If you guys want to interact with us and if you guys want to see more Keep Exploring podcasts, just like how we filmed the Hornets and Scripted podcast, then let me know down in the comment section and I'll definitely bust out more for you guys. But they have to be on big topics because I feel like on some little topics for the Keep Exploring podcast, they just don't work out as well. With big topics like this, then they do work out as well. And obviously, I don't want to bring Horror Nights into the Keep Exploring podcast because then that would make no sense at all for Horror Nights Unscripted to exist. Me and Losh would not have a podcast together. But if you guys are new here and you guys don't know who either of us are, subscribe to both of us down in the description. Is our channels. Obviously, you're watching the SoCal Exploring channel, so you can just go down below and subscribe. But subscribe to LoshTV and subscribe to him or follow him on all socials. Also, down in the description down below. My name is Scott from SoCal Exploring.
I'm Adrian from LoshTV.
And we have been the Keep Exploring podcast. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, everybody.